What's up, everybody? Welcome back to JNL Sports, and in today's video, I'm going solo because I'm a Heat fan, and we need to talk about these crazy Jimmy Butler rumors and what exactly I think is going to come out of this whole thing. Will he be traded? Will he not? And where to? Let's go ahead and find out. But honestly, if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do that. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. So, I want to talk about the first destination, which is the Golden State Warriors. This is my #1 spot that I would love to see Jimmy go if we do trade him, because I think that they have a lot of really good assets that they can give us now that could also help the Miami Heat get into more of a win now mode than they already are now if they were to trade Jimmy Butler. So, let me go ahead and break this down for you. You guys tell me what you think down below in the comments if you think these trades are realistic and whatnot. But the first thing I would do is I would trade Jonathan Kuminga.
And all of them. Warriors had opportunities to win. Jonathan Kuminga with a mid-range to begin the scoring. Yeah, Wiggs, by the way, 77% free throwing. I'll take that for the season from him. Kuminga with a three. They've been struggling with the shots inside. He healed. Getting back to Looney. Kuminga's getting all he can eat on threes, and JK is 3 of 4 with 8.
For Jimmy Butler, if they want him that badly and they want to win this title now, they think they have the team, I would go ahead and commit and give Jonathan Kuminga to the Miami Heat with a draft pick and maybe even one more player, you know, like a Kevon Looney or something. Or something like that that isn't like major to their title winning abilities, but is a good player that could help the Miami Heat. I think that would help push it over the edge for them. But the thing for me is this trade could potentially hurt the Warriors' chances of being title ready. So will they pull the trigger on it? Will they do it? I honestly have absolutely no idea. But since Jimmy is rumored to go to Golden State and that this is a possibility for him, I think that is really the only way that you can get him, is if you give a big package of like Kuminga, Looney, and like 1 or 2 first-round picks, because we're not just going to part ways with Jimmy for absolutely nothing. He is this team's star player. He is this team's #1 guy. So we need 2 good players to replace him. You know, we would put Kuminga in his spot, more than likely, plug-and-play type deal. And then we'd obviously get a big in Kevon Looney that can take Bam Adebayo's center role and allow us to finally play Bam where he's supposed to play, at power forward. And that could help this team drastically, because now Bam can shoot threes, he can stretch the floor, he can go to the perimeter, and he can make teams think about the three-point shot. And if this is the case, then getting a guy like Kevon Looney who can just lock down the paint would help us spread the floor a lot and give us the ability to also attack inside, because Kevon Looney is a very underrated inside scorer in the league. So I think getting those 2 players would be great for Miami, would help them a lot. Maybe even throw in like a Pachevsky or something if they want to get even more capital in there, maybe clear up some salary so next season they can go pick up somebody big, or maybe they want to go make another big trade to go and get more players to help Steph out win his championship, because I think that's what this year is about. If they do this trade, is they want to win Steph his 4th ring. I think that they're going to go all out for it if they go for Jimmy Butler like this. But let's go ahead and go on to the Rockets, and this is a team that, like, salary cap wise makes sense, but I don't think they make sense in terms of what capital the Heat could get out of this, and let me explain. So there are players like Jabari Smith Jr. and Steven Adams and Dylan Brooks.
To him. Now to Dylan Brooks. He'll shoot the 3, and he knocks it down. The first make for the Rockets here tonight after an 0 of 5 start. Into Simons, flipped it up and in. Dylan Brooks.
And then Burger wins the tip. There's the home run pass. Westbrook, the shake and bake, the lob. Oh!
And so it's been such a great combination. But keep your eye on Dillon. Let's not give him or take away any of his respect of what he's been doing.
First 2 points of the game as the tip try is no good by Jones. Rockets looking to attack. Here's Smith, the driving kick, corner three, quick release, down the hatch it goes for Dillon Brooks, who's been
and things of that nature on the Rockets that in theory would help the Heat a lot because it would give them depth, and Dillon Brooks in particular would bring them a lot of really great defensive play that they could get, especially off the bench, which would help them a lot because right now the Miami Heat bench is okay at defense. It's not insane, but the Miami Heat starters are. So maybe getting a guy like Dillon Brooks that you can plug into the bench so that the bench can play better defense would be absolutely fantastic for this team and might be the thing that can help put them over the hump. But I don't think Steven Adams really adds much value to this team. I'm going to be honest, I think that he is worse than Bam Adebayo in a lot of ways, maybe not in rebounding because he is taller than Bam, and I think he may even have a better arm reach radius than Bam, but other than that, Bam is a better defender, Bam's better offensively, Bam's more aggressive, Bam's faster. So whenever you look at everything, it's like, why would you want this guy to come in when I would debate that he's not even necessarily as good as Kevin Love? So this is why this is my second spot, because if the Heat are just trying to free up salary and maybe bring in a Dillon Brooks or a Jabari Smith to give him a chance to try to thrive in the Heat culture, maybe that's what he needs to hit that number 3 overall pick status. If that's the case, then I could see the Heat potentially pulling the trigger just because these players are so young and, you know, Dillon Brooks adds that defensive element that this team on the bench kind of needs right now. So I can see them trying that, but I don't think that they bring the value that like the Warriors would with a guy like Kuminga and Kevon Looney and stuff like that I brought up earlier. So they are my number 2 destination. I think this is the place that Jimmy Butler himself wants to go to the most, is the Houston Rockets, but I just don't see it happening because, as I said before, man, I just don't see anybody on this team really being able to help the Heat, and the Heat are in a win now mode. A lot of people think, oh, the Heat are just trying to blow it up and get younger. Why would you think that? We're 8-2 over the last 10 games. We just beat the brakes off the Cavaliers, who are the best team in the NBA. There is absolutely no dang reason why this team should not be in a win now mode, whether they get rid of Jimmy Butler or not. So when they trade Butler, you have to think, what players could they get from these teams that would allow them to be super competitive and win the championship without Jimmy Butler? That's the team that he's going to if we do trade him. Is the team that gives us assets like a Kuminga, like a Kevon Looney, like some first-round pick capital, to allow us to clear some draft picks out and allow us to bring in some great players, maybe allowing us to even trade guys like Terry Rozier, and I just don't think the Rockets allow us to do that. So we will not be trading him to the Rockets. I'm going to go ahead and say that now. To everyone that is wondering, to everybody who's saying, oh, he's going away, he's going to Houston, I just don't see it. Unless they love Dillon Brooks in Miami, which I could potentially see that, because he does have a good three-point stroke. He is a good interior scorer, and he is a phenomenal defender. So I could see them absolutely loving Dillon Brooks, but I just don't think the other guys put it over the hump because Jabari Smith is a gigantic question mark, and let's be real, Steven Adams is old and washed, and the only reason he doesn't play is because he's not good enough to play on that team. It's not because, they don't want to use him. It's because they have legit no use for him. That's what it is. So the last team that people have him rumored to go to is the Dallas Mavericks, and this team makes zero sense for multiple reasons. One, the Dallas Mavericks are a title contender. They are a phenomenal basketball team that honestly doesn't even need Jimmy Butler, so why would they trade for him? And then secondly, this team has salary cap hell. They are the definition of no salary, no nothing available. They would have to trade 4 to 5 players away to even have a shot at potentially getting Jimmy Butler. So they would have to nuke their bench depth, they'd have to nuke their starter depth, and just basically have a big 3 and maybe like their 2 centers and get rid of everybody else. And that's just not feasible for a basketball team to do, in my opinion. Especially for a guy like Jimmy Butler, who, no offense, is averaging 19 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, and 4.8 assists. When you see that, he ain't worth going and getting rid of a lot of your team to put him on your team just because he might pop off in the playoffs. I mean, he's old now. We don't even know. So That is why I don't think the Mavericks are going to go for him. It makes no sense for them, and honestly makes no sense for Miami because they have absolutely nothing that they want to part ways with that is worth it for us. Like, if they would give us somebody like PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, and maybe like Quentin Grimes, or, you know, a good bench guard that they have that can help us in depth, then maybe I could see it. But that would hurt the Mavericks. So why would the Mavericks do anything like that? Especially Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, who, if you guys don't remember, this Mavericks team was good but not great until they made that trade to bring PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford to the Mavericks. That is what put them over and made them finals contenders last year, was the fact that they went out and they got those two guys. So now you think they're going to get rid of them to get an aging Jimmy Butler? No. Makes zero sense. They're not going to do it. Jimmy Butler is not going to the Mavericks at all. That's why I put him at number 3, because everyone's bringing it up. But I just don't see it at all. Like, I see -% chance of him going to the Dallas Mavericks, to be honest with you. Not even 0. It's in the negatives because it makes no sense. I wanted to add this for the sake of brevity, where I finished recording, and of course Jimmy Butler comes out and addresses the media and says that he is perfectly fine with going to the Phoenix Suns as a potential destination, and on top of all of that, we learned that unfortunately these rumors are probably true and Jimmy Butler is more than likely getting traded. I still hope, if we're actually doing it, that it's to Golden State. I mean, I think Golden State has the best assets that we can personally pick up for Jimmy, but the Phoenix Suns have now put their hat in the ring, and it's very unfortunate in my opinion, because I don't think the Phoenix Suns have anything to really offer the Heat that aren't starters, and I just don't think that they're going to trade any other starters for Jimmy Butler, because your goal is to build a big 3 at that point, and I just don't think that they're going to trade anyone that's really crazy valuable to get that. And let's just be real here, man. You're not going to get anybody other than maybe Grayson Allen, who's just basically Duncan Robinson but older. So it's do I really care about Grayson Allen, or is he older? I'm actually not sure. You let me know in the comments. But I know that he's not young, and I don't really care to have a guy that can come off the bench and shoot a couple threes and then go sit down. I don't think that's worth taking for Jimmy Butler. But you guys go ahead and let me know your thoughts. Do you think the Suns are a good spot? But let's go ahead and give some closing thoughts on this stuff, man. So I also wanted to end this video off by giving you guys my personal thoughts on the Heat trading Jimmy Butler from the perspective of a Miami Heat fan. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about me. So I've been a diehard Miami Heat fan since the 2006 season, where they had D-Wade and, Shaq and all that here.
He gets inside, good drive, and draws the foul. Dwayne Wade will shoot 2 more free throws. And keys for the Mavericks is they've got a nice balance of young players and veterans. Wade inside.
We were seeing more patience tonight within Miami. Anytime that the ball was kicked out in Game 2, it would be immediately shot at the basket or a quick drive and a shot attempt. Tonight, they're taking their time.
Those seasons where they had that's whenever I really started to watch basketball, and I fell in love with Dwayne Wade. And I have been a diehard Miami Heat fan ever since. And yes, Dwayne Wade is my favorite basketball player of all time. That is one of the main reasons that I am a Miami Heat fan, is because I think Dwayne Wade is a great dude. I think he's a great player. I think he's someone that a kid could easily look up to and be a role model for. He's a great guy, and he works his ass off to be the best player he can every single night. So that's why I'm a Heat fan, is because Dwayne Wade is literally the reason I loved basketball back in the day. So that is why I am the Miami Heat fan. And as a Heat fan, I hate this trade. I'm going to be real with you. We have won 8 games of our last 10, and most of that has been because of Jimmy Butler's tenacious defense and his leadership ability and his ability to throw guys open on the court. Yes, he only has 4.8 assists, which we might as well say 5, because what the heck is 0.8 of an assist, am I right? But he's averaging low assist numbers. I agree with that. But at the same time, he is setting up passes where other people are getting assists. He passed it to Tyler, and then Tyler passes it to Bam on a lob, and then Bam slams it in somebody's mouth type deal. This offense doesn't move near as good when Jimmy Butler is not on the floor. This offense looks pedestrian at times without Jimmy Butler on the floor, where the only guy that can effectively do anything on it is Tyler Hero, and that's with or without Jimmy for Tyler Hero. But everybody else, they need Jimmy Butler. This is a team that desperately needs Jimmy Butler. So I don't care. If you tell me I can get Kuminga and stuff like that, then sure. I'll 100% do that trade because at that point, that's worth it because I'm getting a big that can allow Bam to play his actual position in power forward. I'm getting a power forward who can replace Jimmy Butler and has the speed and the athleticism to basically do what Jimmy's doing, but maybe even better because he's younger and there's less injury risk there. So all of that, yes, I am 100% there for it. That's why I'm saying if we do trade Jimmy, I want it to be with the Warriors because they have the players that would be willing to be given up that I would want that would actually help this team win games now. I don't care about 5 years from now. This is a team that the way they are playing can contend this year if we play our cards correctly. If we do the right trades, the right people at the right time and do the right things, this is a title contending team. This is a team that is better than the team that went on the miracle run 2 years ago. This is the team that is better than the team that did the 2021 bubble. This team is better than both of those teams. And we keep talking about how those teams were great and they were able to do this, this, and that to get to the finals and blah, blah, blah. This team's better than them. So if that's the case, then why are we trying to trade the reason that this team is able to move the ball well? The reason the defense has aggression and tenacity and moves like an amoeba. Why are we getting rid of that? Just for the sake of getting young? We can worry about getting young later. Let's keep this team that has been playing their asses off, that's on a 3-game win streak and is 8-2 in the last 10 games. Let's keep this core that we have that is clearly working. Let's keep them together. Because I want to also state this too. We are 8-2 in the last 10. You want to know the common denominator? Those 2 losses, Jimmy Butler did not play. Jimmy Butler played a little bit against the Bucks, and then he got hurt in that game, and then he didn't play at all against Boston. And we're out here trying to trade this man. The worst game of the season for us, where we got our doors blown off by Boston, was the one game that Jimmy didn't play. If Jimmy played in that game, I don't think the Miami Heat go in there and get their doors blown off by Boston. Because the ball movement would have been better. The defense would have been more aggressive. We would have been more tenacious. We would have been more on top of things. Because Jimmy Butler is a leader. Jimmy Butler is the guy that you want on the court. Even if he's only averaging 19 points. You don't give a crap. It doesn't matter. Jimmy Butler is that dude. You want him out there. You want him to lead this Miami Heat team to the promised land. And you want him to win that ring. Because at this point, he's done everything for Miami. He's played tenacious defense. He's had 50-point games. He's done everything you can think of on the Miami Heat, except for win a championship. And the 1 year that Tyler Hero is ignited, and we are starting to see a little bit better offensive efficiencies from Bam Adebayo, where his points per game are going up and up and up per game each and every single time we play nowadays, because he stopped trying to shoot 53s a game and he's starting to go inside the paint again, getting his percentages way better. Now that this is happening, now we want to get rid of him? Why would you get rid of him when everybody's clicking, when everybody's figured out how to win on the Miami Heat? It makes zero sense to me. So do I want to trade into any of these teams for any of these packages? Hell no. I want to keep Jimmy Butler in Miami. That's what I want. I think this team works the way it does because whether Jimmy's dropping 10 points and has a billion assists and a shit ton of steals, or he's dropping 50 points and he's taking the game over like Michael Jordan, it doesn't matter. Jimmy Butler is my second favorite Miami Heat player of all time. Jimmy Butler is the reason that the Miami Heat have been relevant for the last 6 years. And Jimmy Butler deserves one last dance with this Miami Heat team at the bare minimum. That is my stance on this. And I'll be freaking furious if we trade him, because I don't think any of these packages help us win a title. I think we will be an 8 seed, maybe, if we do that again. And we will get our doors blown off by the Cavs because, again, Jimmy Butler is the reason our defense was so good against the Cavs, and Jimmy Butler is the reason our offense moved so well against the Cavs. So damn it, I'll say it. Jimmy Butler was the reason we beat the Cavs, even though he didn't drop the most points on the planet. When you watch the way the ball moves whenever he's in there, and you just watch the stuff that the stat sheet doesn't freaking tell you, Jimmy Butler dominated that game, and it was beautiful to watch. So I don't want to get rid of Jimmy. I don't. And I love how Jimmy and Tyler have found this dynamic where they work so damn well together. And they just are unstoppable now. I just don't want to break that up for something that might be better if we're lucky, whenever we have something now that is already working. But I'll stop ranting. I want to know what you guys think about this down below in the comments. Let me know, do you want the Heat to trade Jimmy Butler? And if so, where do you think makes the most sense? Are you like me, where you think the Warriors make the most sense? Or do you have another destination in mind that you think would be 10 times better than Golden State that nobody's thinking about? Maybe it's not even in Jimmy's top 3. Go ahead and comment that down below. And also drop a like if you enjoyed this video. And if you love sports content where it's news, rankings, reviews of teams, all of that, seasonal reviews, we go over predictions, we tell you what to bet for in Vegas, and so far, I have a 100% good track record. If you see my short and you betted with that, you won some money. So if you want to win some money, be sure to subscribe right here to JNL Sports, because we do it all here, man. This is a fantastic channel for anybody who loves sports and loves sports betting and all that type of stuff and just wants to enjoy sports as a community. This is the place you need to be. So hit that subscribe button if that's you. And for me, to all of you, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.